good to see y'all. You'll notice...
See? I know you're wearing glasses, but I don't think you can see them still.
No, can't see you. We can see you with our hearts, though.
Ew.
Is that creepy?
That is disgusting.
So you'll notice there's only 2 of us here.
Unfortunately, Charlie will be taking a bit of a hiatus from the show. She is currently, and her family is currently going through several back-to-back tragedies, and obviously with COVID and everything, an already complicated situation is now even more complicated than it needs to be, and you know, we don't want to get into the details of what's going on. It's not that she and her family have COVID, it's just a couple of back-to-back, as I said, tragedies in the family, unfortunately, have made it so that she needs to take some time away and just deal with all of that stuff. So unfortunately, you're going to be stuck with the pessimist and the optimist with no one to balance us out. So get prepared for some absolute chaos as we just pull back and forth until we eventually rip apart and create a black hole and everything gets sucked into it.
Yes, have fun listening to our rants.
Yeah, because now there's no one to moderate us. Because it's normally just Charlie looking at us that makes us realize like we've gone off on a tangent. So we're hooped at this point. It's either going to be you ranting about more religious bullshit or me ranting about just literally anything. So
you know how I love to rant about religious bullshit. Oh my gosh.
And you guys know how I love to rant about anything. Anything and everything.
So what are we talking about today, Abby?
Witnessing brainwashing.
Witnessing brainwashing.
Does anyone get the joke?
We mean Jehovah's Witnesses. Oh my
Get it? Witness,
gosh.
witness, yeah. So Jehovah's Witness is a cult, yeah?
Yes, they are. We say this because, largely, they instill a cult personality on their peoples. They want everyone to act the same way and to be the same person, and that is proven by various publications from the, what is it called, Kingdom Hall?
I have no idea because honestly, this is one of the few subjects I actually don't. I can tell you about bluefin tuna because I watched a documentary on them not long ago. Don't ask what happened because I honestly don't know why I started watching it. It was actually kind of disgusting because I'm scared of the ocean. So don't ask me why I was watching a documentary specifically on bluefin tuna. But I don't know anything about most religious stuff because I tend to stay far the fuck away from it because no.
Good idea.
Yeah.
I watch a lot of Telltale Atheists. I love him. He's awesome. He used to be, he's an ex-Jehovah's Witness and his mom is still in it, I think. And it's very interesting. I love
So when you say Jehovah's Witness, just you talking about how they want everyone to act the same, if I can paint a brief picture in your head of that one SpongeBob episode where Squidward moves to like a literal suburb full of other Squidwards. Is that what we're talking about here?
I think more of the normal SpongeBob. Or is that
more Mormonism?
No, I think it's more of the normal SpongeBob.
Normal SpongeBob?
I think Jehovah's Witnesses and Mormonism both have really similar parallels to them.
I feel like most culty religions would, Scientology included. You know what I mean?
Scientology is another.
I mean, that's a whole other.
God.
Very
interesting.
That's a tank of monkeys.
That's a lot of lore. It's like Skyrim level lore.
It's like Five Nights at Freddy's level lore. Are you kidding me? It is like the FNAF of religions.
That's perfect.
Well, that's what it is because there's so many layers to it, and every time you think you know who killed the kids, all of a sudden Tom Cruise comes out and you're like, what the fuck is this reboot?
Oh, those are, nope. Jehovah's Witnesses, I mean...
Do you have any actual experience? You do have actual experience. I don't know why I'm asking because I know you have experience. No, you were. That makes it sound like you were a Jehovah's Witness and you were never a Jehovah's Witness. But you have experience with people, not just experience of like listening to YouTubers who were Jehovah's Witness, but you actually have known a couple of people who were Jehovah's Witness.
Like one person who wasn't even my friend. It was one of my ex-boyfriend's friends in high school who grew up a Jehovah's Witness.
Is it weird if I say that I can't see MD having a Jehovah's Witness as a friend?
Oh,
maybe that's just because I can't imagine your ex having friends at all, but
the person who was the ex Jehovah's Witness is actually they're having a hard time now, and I can say that because
my dude who isn't having a hard time right now. Excuse me.
Hard time. Well, here's the thing.
Oh, I mean, it must be really hard for Jehovah's Witness just thinking that they go door to door. I don't know how that works with COVID because I feel like you're not supposed to open your door for friends and family, let alone some strange person asking you to talk about their Lord and Savior Godzilla.
I think they pulled back on the door knocking right now, From what I hear,
do they send spam emails? I feel like
Yeah.
that's the next way of
A
door
lot
knocking.
of
That's virtual door
publications.
knocking.
A
Or
lot of
like leaving
publications.
things in your mailbox.
a lot of publications. Yeah, I think they've suspended the door knocking for now. I know that it's like, you know how in school sometimes you do home reading in elementary school?
Yeah.
I've heard that the door knocking procedures are much like that. You have a sheet and you sign up for this much time.
No.
Yeah, that's what I heard.
That's weird.
Yeah, and you go and you do your service, and there's different levels of how committed you are to your service. So it infiltrates your whole life.
And they get kids to do this.
Oh,
like,
of course.
Not just adults. Like, they literally indoctrinate
They
kids to do
don't
it.
just get kids to do it. They practice with their children. You're taught to be a good parent.
Come on, Billy. We're going door knocking today.
You practice with your children. Oh my gosh, it's
Well, I mean, a great example of this, you showed me a couple of weeks ago, a kids show called Caleb and Sophia.
Oh my
if you
gosh.
know anything about, I almost said Judaism.
Judaism?
No, that's not a correct. That is not a correct. I almost said Mormonism. Fuck, no, not that either.
Jehovah's Witnesses.
Yeah, if you know anything about Jehovah's Witnesses, you have probably heard of Caleb and Sophia.
Yeah. Oh, it's terrifying.
You showed me a couple of episodes. Not only is the animation terrifying because these kids' heads
It's gotten better.
These kids' heads
better.
look like they're about to explode,
Yeah.
and they move in such an uncanny way that it makes you feel like they're actually part of like the ring tape, and that
Yeah.
they're gonna like walk out of the tape and like murder you.
Yeah. Oh my gosh.
They're scary. But it is very brainwashing because I remember you showed me a couple of episodes, and I kind of sat there thinking, it's not that bad. They seem to be kind of preaching equality in some ways, where it's like, people have different views from us, and I was like, this is weird. Like, it doesn't seem that bad, and yet when you actually take in the message at the end, there was one episode in particular where it was kind of this little girl character, Sophia, saw a picture on her elementary school poster board where it was like a little girl who had two moms, and she went home and asked her mom about it, and her mom was like, well, there are some people who choose to live differently than us. And I was like, you know what, that's like preaching tolerance. Like, I'm really surprised to hear that. By the end of the episode, it completely turns it around, and she goes, you should talk to your friend about how she should be afraid of going to hell, and you need to try and save her soul. And I was like, oh, there's the crazy.
You gotta tell your friend about going to paradise.
I was like, there's the crazy that I was lacking before. But it catches you. It catches you off guard because it sounds like it's okay. It sounds like they're like, you have your thoughts and I have mine, and that's like a very tolerant way, and yet when you actually get into the message, like, it's very anti-tolerism.
That's their strategy with those videos. They try to make it as, like, you agree with it little by little. They feed it to you, and then the big thing happens, and they try to get you to the point where you're like, well, everything else they said was okay.
It is that, like, continual justification that is actually a major step in brainwashing where, it's little bits, and, you're like, I can agree with that, and then they start getting a little more extreme, and you're like, you know what? They've had a point so far, so I'm sure they're coming from a good place, they've earned my trust, and then they drop this bombshell on you, and for a kid, I don't think they would be, like, for me, I was getting sucked in, and I'm, like, 24. Yeah. I can only imagine what a kid, and that's the target demographic with that.
Oh, it is.
I can only imagine what a kid must go through. Like, they must bite hook, line, and sinker.
I feel really bad for the kids of Jehovah's Witnesses because they don't choose to be in it.
No, they're very much indoctrinated. What choice do they have?
And not even that. Those kids, they are isolated from their peers in no other way because they want their kids to go to public schools so that they can minister to the public at school.
I was going to say, they literally have their children preaching to other children, and that is just terrifying to me.
It causes kids to bully them.
And that is such a tragedy. Because then it really isolates these kids, doesn't it? Because then it makes sure that the only thing they have is Jehovah's Witness because everyone else is bullying them. Like, what are you going to do?
And something that isolates them even further, those kids are not allowed to celebrate birthdays, Christmas, Halloween, any holidays at all. So if you're in class and you know how in class sometimes maybe you'll make like little Christmas trees, little crafts and stuff, they're not allowed to participate. They have to talk to their teacher and be like, I can't do this.
That just breaks my heart because what kid should have to do something like that?
I know.
And I get that it's just not our way of seeing things and our way of viewing things because, I mean, there are other religions as well where it's like, especially Halloween seems to be it's a pagan holiday, right? Yeah. So, even though a lot of the typical things that we think about with Halloween, trick-or-treating and all of that isn't necessarily pagan, the thought for these parents, their children doing anything even somewhat in that realm is just like a huge no. So they're like, no trick-or-treating, no dressing up, no nothing. I feel for these kids because they see every other kid getting to do it. And, you know, that really does break my heart. It
does. And you're isolated. They're not allowed to have a lot of secular friends.
And again, there's no way out for them because they're brainwashed from basically the day that they're born, and then they're isolated. So the only thing they have is their brainwashed content.
And then if they leave, they're then shunned by everyone they all knew.
And even then, how hard is it? Because you have no one to rely on because everyone around you is probably avoiding you unless they're also in Jehovah's Witness. Yeah. So if you eschew that, what do you have? Like, what's your lifeline?
You don't have.
Like, God, that's so scary.
Cults are scary.
Cults are scary.
And they're a prevalent cult. I got a little pamphlet in the mail like months ago, the beginning of COVID, about the Jehovah's Witness convention in our city.
They were still hosting a convention?
I think so. I think it actually happened.
Oh my Lord. So we're going to take a second here, and actually we are going to be hearing from a sponsor. Oh my God, you guys, we actually got a sponsor.
So exciting.
So we're going to go ahead and listen to that while we go and look for this pamphlet because I kind of want to see it, and we'll catch you after the sponsorship.
Welcome back.
So we could not find the pamphlet, unfortunately, as much as we kind of poked around for it a little bit. We couldn't find it. But I can't say that I have much experience with Jehovah's Witness. The only actual experience I have wasn't even technically, it was not meant for me.
No, it was not.
That sounds odd.
Clearly.
But basically what had happened, I had stayed overnight at a friend's house. We're just going to call her Luna in this case. Actually, I think that's what she legally changed her name to, but whatever. She wasn't known as that when we were younger. But my friend Luna and I had a sleepover, and I think this is when we were, 13, maybe 12, 13, something like that. So there was a baby in the household, and her mom had to step out for a little bit. I think she had gone to the store or something. I don't even remember. Yeah. That was half my lifetime ago, literally, so don't expect me to remember too many details. But so she had asked us just to kind of watch the baby, and, you know, it was fine. I at least at the time had done my babysitting course, and obviously Luna lived in the house, so she wasn't concerned with having her watch the baby for a little while. So if I had to explain, as much as I'm not religious, I've always been fairly conservative. My friend Luna was not. She used to be, like, even back when we were younger, crop top, short shorts, spaghetti straps, all of that sort of jazz. So imagine the shock when Jehovah's Witness turns up at the door and Luna answers the door with this baby on her hip. And this baby at this point was probably around 7 months, 8 months. So you can imagine Luna opens the door wearing like short booty shorts, like spaghetti strap crop top, baby on her hip, and is just staring down this Jehovah's Witness.
Good for her. She has some balls.
And this poor Jehovah's Witness looked like he was going to wet his pants on the doorstep because he's looking at Luna going, oh my God, teen mom. And even then, she was very much into, like, if I said the Avril Lavigne look, so very dark punk eyeliner, rock. Punk rock, like, this is what she looked like. Yeah. She at the time had, like, cropped blonde hair, but it had, like, streaks of color in it, like, very kind of grunge pop rock sort of thing. So he shakily starts to go through his spiel. Oh, do you have a moment to talk about our Lord and Savior, Jehovah? And my friend Luna looks him up and down with his baby on her hip and goes, Hail Satan, and slams the door shut. This poor kid booked it so hard out of the area. Like, it looked like he was afraid to catch on fire, this poor kid. And to this day, I still laugh about that story, but that must have been horrifying for that poor kid. Yeah. He must have thought, I'm in the devil's territory.
How old did he look?
Honestly, thinking back, he was probably 15, 16.
Oh, man.
Old enough to be doing it on his own, but at the same time, probably not prepared for, like, what looked like a 12-year-old mom hailing Satan at her doorway with a baby on her hip.
That poor
man was probably scarred for the rest of his Jehovah's life.
Well,
he probably went home and, like, rocked in a corner somewhere, like, ah.
Well, it must be hard for them, because one of their trained-in beliefs is that everyone is going to persecute them and is out to get them. We watched that one video where that one Jehovah's Witness walks up and they try to give her a rainbow wristband.
Yeah.
to support gay pride or whatever. And
Oh, yeah.
someone looks at her and she's like, do you have a problem? Like, that
And,
would
like-
ever happen.
And like literally the entire store, like everyone starts like looking at her
Yeah.
and kind of like persecuting her. And she was so brave for standing up for her
soul.
beliefs. And
Oh
I'm
my
like,
gosh.
oh my wow.
That
Oh
would-
my lordy.
Would never happen in real life.
God no.
Oh my gosh, so unrealistic. But when you're trained with all of these unrealistic beliefs,
Like
how-
everyone is out to get you.
Yeah.
Everyone hates you. And especially because that's probably very much reinforced from their childhood,
Yeah.
knowing that they were kind of shunned by other
Oh,
kids
yeah.
and made fun of. They probably very much do feel
Yeah.
like they are going to be looked at that way
Yeah.
because that's been their experience, especially because kids have no filters, right? So they're just going to say, you know, if a kid's being weird, they're going to call them
Yeah.
out and say, you're being weird. Like, why don't you do this? Why don't you say that? Why don't you, you know, whatever. So I'm sure heading into their adult life with so few interactions as children, they probably do very much believe that that's exactly
Yeah.
what's going to happen to them.
I think that one of the beliefs I find most funny to me in an ironic way is that even though their specific brand of religion has been
Their
around,
brand of religion.
There's a brand of religion.
Their brand of,
has-
you know, like when you go to the grocery store and you're like looking at the cereal aisle
Yeah.
and you have your favorite, like there's like the Lucky Charms, then there's like
Yeah.
the knockoff Lucky Charms. Is Jehovah's the Lucky Charms or the knockoff Lucky Charms? I need to know. This is very important information.
They're the Lucky Charms in the dumpster when you go dumpster diving.
Oh,
box is
they're
dented.
they're in the dumpster out
Yeah.
back. They're the Lucky Charms that got pulled off the shelves.
But anyways, one of their peculiar beliefs, well, I mean, a lot of Christians believe this as well, is that Jesus, or not, do they even believe in Jesus? I don't know. Jesus will return any 5 minutes from now. The rapture is happening right now. It could happen today, tomorrow, whatever.
Oh, it's that whole sort of like the second birth of Christ,
Yeah.
right? It's the idea that
You have to be prepared.
you have to be prepared at any second
Yeah.
because, you know, what if he catches you, what if he catches you with your dick out? What are you going to do? You can't get raptured like that, so obviously you just can't whack off.
I don't
your
think,
pants
I
on.
don't think they're allowed to do that either, but okay.
But that's my point. Keep your pants on. What if Jesus or Jehovah catches you with your dick out?
Stop. Stop. Stop.
Am I wrong?
I need a safe word.
I need a safe word.
But, oh my lord. Oh,
No, I don't think they allow for butt stuff.
I don't want to talk about it.
I don't wanna talk about
it. Oh my gosh.
But, they constantly live with that idea that it could happen at any minute.
Really, really hard to live with.
You know what I always think about? If
What?
anyone watches with Trixie
Yeah.
Mattel and
Katya
Katya Zamolichkova, that one episode where Trixie is discussing religion and she sits there and she's like, I don't believe in that. And then she stands up, like, looks over her shoulder and it's that, like, winking Jesus statue. That's what I think about. Whereas they're just like, oh, I'm prepared at any time. And then they, like, stand up and they, like, look over the shoulder and Jesus is just like, hey. And I'm like, I feel like that's what they expect.
Yeah.
Is he's just going to be right there.
Like,
Or it's like me, whenever I sneak up on you at the dance
Oh,
room and you turn
God.
around and I'm just like a white figure standing in the darkness smiling at you and
Yeah.
you're like, oh my God, Jeff the Killer is here.
you're old.
Shut up, I just aged myself. This is just a constant on-running joke.
Yeah.
I think I just aged myself
Yeah, you're just
again.
old.
Uh,
Another concept I want to look into is especially their concept of what happens after the rapture starts. So I heard
I thought it was
tidbit.
just like everyone goes up to heaven and everyone who's not
No.
good enough stays on
No.
earth. Is that not the idea?
Right now, they think that spreading the message is the most important thing. And then the rapture
with any
starts.
cult?
The rapture starts, and then they go out. Apparently, their plans are to go out and start telling people that the rapture has started and they are now doomed.
Oh.
Yeah. Yeah.
So it's like Charles Manson deciding that they needed to dig a hole in the desert because the apocalypse was coming. That's
Yeah.
very much kind of like the vibe I'm getting
Yeah.
here.
Yeah, they have to tell them that you're now doomed. There's no redeeming you.
Just so
Sorry.
you know. Just so
Sorry.
you know.
Yeah.
It's not, we're not just going to go up to heaven and leave you here and you can figure it out. It's literally, I'm going to tell you to your face, you are screwed.
They have very specific plans. I wonder what's
Whenever you can say that a religion has very specific plans, I get very concerned.
Yeah.
Because how does that not sound like the Manson cult? They have very specific plans.
Well, oh yeah.
I mean, I have very specific plans, so maybe I have a cult.
Maybe you do have a cult. I wouldn't put it past you.
I'm now a cult leader, you guys. You heard it here first. I own a cult now.
You own a cult?
I own a cult. I own
Financially?
you. I own your soul. I am the ginger of the relationship, so therefore.
The token ginger.
The token ginger. I was going to say you're the token gay, but Charlie's gay. So I'm the token ginger, the token bi, the token ace. You guys are just using me. I don't like you guys anymore.
Maybe we're the cult leader, Abby. Have you thought of that?
Maybe I've been brainwashed, you guys. How about you guys? Do you guys have any experience with Jehovah's Witness? If you have any experience with Jehovah's Witness or any of these other sort of culty things, let us know. We would love to hear from you and talk to you about what it was like on the inside.
Yeah, we have send us voice messages anywhere. We have Instagram.
Seriously, Facebook. I think we have a Twitter. Maybe
we're gonna make a Twitter.
Do we have a Twitter?
We're gonna start one.
But message us on Instagram for sure. Whether it's our actual podcast Instagram, or of course we all have our own individual Instagrams as well. Yeah. Message us on there. Send us an audio message off of Anchor, off of Spotify, anything.
Yeah.
We have a YouTube channel.
Yeah, check us out on YouTube. We post vlogs every Saturday.
So message us on there and tell us, like, if you have experience, what is your experience? And let us know, because we would love to talk. We would love to get some more information from an insider on exactly what you went through and how you escaped.
An inside source.
I think the escape is the most fun part to me. It's like seeing those episodes, you know, like, I don't know if they were gypsies or what. Do you remember those episodes?
The Amish ones.
Yeah, where they helped them escape.
Escape the Amish or something
I want to know your escape story. I want to know your great escape. I want to know.
The Great Escape.
The Great Escape.
I think it's more sad than that, but okay.
The Great Escape, Jehovah's Witness style.
Amazing. All right.
That's it for this episode. Thank you very much for listening, and we will catch you in the next one.
Yeah, take it gay by gay, guys.
Bye.